leaving them fresh and scented. You licks your dishes like vitamin E. You licks your floors, even licks your toilet. Now we expand and bring you 3 new scents in our fabric softener: Balmy Sunshine, Summer Sunshine, and 1000 Flowers. And licks those stains off of colored clothes with Licks Color Scent Bleach. Licks went even further with body care fresh soap bars in deodorant and antibacterial those stains, so Licks tiredness and bacteria out and refresh your tired body. Your product's giving you licks? Then choose Licks from G'day Distribution Inc. Available at all leading supermarkets.
Meet the summer heat with a relaxing glide down the Rosanqua, with your cares behind as you immerse yourself in the tranquility of nature. Kids home from school, no problem. Unforgettable adventure. St. Lucia Bamboo Rafting introduces its Summer River Special. Start with a welcome cocktail to set the mood. Then enjoy a 90-minute guided tour and a cooler filled with drinks for your refreshment. Tours start from 9:30 a.m. and grant every 2 hours with the last tour at 3:30 p.m. Adults pay 100 EC per person. Kids ages 5 to 11 years old, 50 EC. We are located in the Roseau Valley, next to St. Lucia Distillers. For reservations, call 1-758-720-2020. Don't forget to like St. Lucia Bamboo Rafting on Facebook and Instagram. St. Lucia Bamboo Rafting. Let us take you from stressed to relaxed in 90 minutes flat.
This Monday and every Monday, 4 to 7 p.m. with Foster Chico.
Looking for a new way to enjoy your St. Lucian vacation? Book a tailor-made tour with Sea Breeze Adventures. Explore the island's untouched natural beauty as you visit hidden coves and beaches along the coastline with any one of our whole or half-day excursions. We offer a variety of adventure opportunities, including sport fishing, sunset cruises, island adventures, whale and dolphin watching, and water taxi service. To book, contact Captain Warren at telephone number 1758-713-3196. Sea Breeze Adventures, not just a tour, but an adventure.
Good afternoon, St. Lucia, and welcome to another edition of Hard Talk here on Fire 107.7 FM. I am your host, Angie, and I know some of you may have tuned in on the link, but unfortunately, we are experiencing some technical difficulties, and the link is down. It should be back up by tomorrow, if all goes well. But it will be back up, as I shouldn't say tomorrow because I don't know what's gonna happen, but it should be back up as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I'm here with you guys. Thought I wasn't coming, huh? I know I signed on a bit late, but I was still trying to see if I could sort the problem out. Unfortunately, I was not able to, but I will not stop trying, guys. I am going to do my best. An update, our Instagram page has gone live, but of course we haven't started posting. I want to see how I can post the reels that we have on here. I actually need to complete a few more steps so that we can go live, but well, completely live. But you know what I mean. So soon, you guys are going to have the opportunity of following Fire FM on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Of course, I'm trying to meet the viewers wherever they are. And I thank you for your patience and for sticking with us despite all our many difficulties. So, guys, this is Fire FM. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for sharing the live. And we are going to jump into the meat of the matter. Today I want to have a positive show. I want to have something positive to say, something positive to do, because I don't know about you guys, but it's been a real downer lately. You know, all of the things that are going wrong in this country, all of the situations that they're very important to talk about, you know, the rising cost of living, escalated crime. But we do have good things happening in St. Lucia as well. And while I want to continue to talk about all of the negatives, I do want to balance it out and dedicate some of the program to speaking about the positives that we are seeing. Of course, number one, guys, we have to say happy belated birthday to our star athlete. I think she's right up there with the two Nobel laureates and the two SACBA laureates that nobody's talking about. In my mind, at least, Julian Alfred is the epitome of Black excellence. She's ranked all the way up there in my mind, and she celebrated her 25th birthday the only way she knew how, according to a Facebook post, by winning gold medal in the women's 100 meters. Guys, I don't know about you, but that almost makes up for so many of the negatives that we are seeing happening in our country today. And I really, really want to express my pride at just being from the same community as Julian. We're both from the Castries Castries South. I think that's Castries South. It's Castries South community. From Cicero. Yes, I was born in Cicero. I wasn't raised there, but I was born there. And a lot of the childhood memories that I have of my family togetherness is in that area. And there are so many people. When I go to that area now, although it doesn't really look like the area that I left, it looks a bit more rundown and a lot more rundown, I have to be honest, than it was when I grew up back in the 80s. But there are people there who, faces that I still remember, kids that I grew up with, and yeah, it still feels like home, albeit a more dilapidated version, but it still feels like home. And I think I know how Julian feels when she comes home and she sees that area. And she is the kind of example, the kind of role model that we want for our kids. Hardworking, smart, dedicated, with a love for country and a love for her fellow man. I mean, I met her once at Constitution Park, and I couldn't help but go up to her and tell her how proud I was of her, and I'm so happy I got that opportunity. So, and she was just walking around, she was just walking around in Constitution Park, just being home, just being herself. And I'm happy that, I got to meet her. She is a very humble young lady. And so to her mom, I know that she's named after her dad, and her dad has passed away. But to her mom, to her family, I don't know if she has brothers and sisters, but to her mom, her family, her aunts and uncles, guys, you did a really great job raising this. What word can I use to describe Julian? She is a wonderful young lady. And in my mind, the epitome of black excellence. And I think she reminds St. Lucians that we still got it. We still got it. So just a thank you to Julian. Thank you, Juju. That's what everybody calls you. Thank you, Juju, for putting us out there, for doing what you do and inspiring an entire nation. And guys, Julian Alfred will be the inspiration for an entire generation of St. Lucians who are just coming into their own. And it is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience to be able to watch this young lady grow up, to be able to watch her achieve some of the things that she's been able to achieve, and to be able to just see her progress and her development. It's just remarkable. So despite all of what is going on, despite the high crime, despite the rising cost of living, despite everything that we are going through, we need to take the time out and acknowledge Julian's her commitment and her dedication to her country. Sorry guys, this airing is really not for me today. It's just really, I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't think it likes me too much. I'm going to have to take it off. I might have to take both my earrings off. I'm not getting ready to fight. Some of you are seeing me doing this. It's just for some reason the headphones and the earrings are not, they're not meshing today. It's very painful. Sorry about that. Normally when you see a woman take off her earrings, that means you have to run because she's about to get physical. But no, I'm not getting physical today. I'm getting verbal. So, right. So, sorry about that. Had to just get this off. It was very distracting. So, despite everything that is going on in St. Lucia today, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we need to take the time to acknowledge this young woman for everything that she is doing, for just being herself. I mean, she is excellence at its finest. The epitome of black excellence, and at least we have one young woman who is making a name for herself, one person who is still out there, still showing that St. Lucia is a breeding ground for talent and for extraordinary behavior. Now I want to share with you this post that will give you more information on what Julian achieved yesterday, and that. So it's a post from St. Lucia Daily Post. Again, you guys know this is one of my, I love to quote them because I like what they do. They're balanced, they're fair, they are objective, and that's the kind of journalism that we miss in St. Lucia. Guys, just a sidebar, I read this article from a Caribbean newspaper about something that happened in St. Lucia. And when I read that story, I was like, oh my God. Because I had been going through a bunch of stories written by St. Lucia journalists about the same incident. And the clear bias was there. But I read this story from a regional newspaper talking about the same incident, and I could not believe it. There is still objective journalism in the world. Media people in St. Lucia, you guys need to step up. But anyway, I see some people coming on to the live. I want to say a special good afternoon to Miss Doris Joseph. Good day to you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Let me go to Julian. So this story was just posted on the St. Lucia Daily Post. It says, Olympic champion Julian Alfred celebrated her 25th birthday in spectacular fashion on Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. Guys, they need to make this day, this girl's birthday, a national holiday, by the way. I'm going to advocate for that. By powering to victory in the women's 100 meters at the Oslo Diamond League. Oh, it's still at the Diamond League. She won the 200 meters at the Diamond League, and now she just blew through and decimated the 100 meters at the Diamond League. Competing at the historic Bislett Games in Norway, the St. Lucian sprinting star dominated the field to clock a wind-assisted 10.76 seconds, marking her fourth consecutive outdoor victory of the season. Don't play with our girl. Do not play with our girl. Wind assisted my foot. Juju got this, wind or no wind. I'm being biased, I'm sorry. The birthday triumph in Oslo comes just 6 days after Alfred secured a dominant 200-meter victory in 21.95 seconds at the Diamond League meeting in Rome on June 4th. Speaking after her race in Norway, the Paris 2024 Olympic gold medalist expressed confidence in her current form, stating that she is healthy, trusting herself more, and genuinely enjoying the high level of competition. The win marks a flawless start to her summer campaign as she continues to cement her status as one of the most dominant forces in global track and field. Back home, the milestone double celebration was acknowledged by the Ministry of Education, Youth Development, Sports and Digital Transformation, which issued an official statement extending birthday greetings. On behalf of the government and people of St. Lucia, the ministry highlighted Julian's role as St. Lucia's Senior Sportswoman of the Year and emphasized her ongoing impact as a major role model for the nation's youth. With her latest performance on European soil, the Olympic champion continues to build on the historic legacy she established in Paris. So there you have it, guys. Her birthday, and she celebrated it by blowing through. And I watched that match, guys. I played it. You guys didn't see it. You heard it yesterday. But Julian started this race dominantly, and she continued to dominate all throughout this entire event. Let me tell you, she left those other girls in her wake. You know, she blew past them. There was a lead. Oh, if you have not seen this latest race by Julian Alfred, I encourage you, if you're feeling down, if If you went to the supermarket earlier today and the prices have got you down, if you went to the gas station to try to fill your tank and you realize you had to pay more money, if you got your electricity bill in the mail or in whatever paperless forum that they have, and you realize that you're going through it, just go and watch that match, that race from Julian that Julian did yesterday. I guarantee you that it is going to lift your spirits. I guarantee you. Okay, because if you somebody made a reggae tribute to Julian. But I'm telling you, if you're feeling down, if anything is bothering you, go watch that race. I guarantee you, everything will be. It might not fix the problem, but it'll make you feel better. It'll make you feel like there's something good happening in the world. Also, and I have a very special message here that I'm going to read. So, guys, this is coming from Mrs. Chico, the wife of the former candidate for Castries East, Mr. Peter Chico, and it reads, "Hi, good afternoon to all. I wish to extend sincere condolences to the UWP Castries East constituency group and the family of the youth officer, Miss Keitha Charles, as she's laid to rest this afternoon. May her soul continue to rest in peace." Keitha was also employed at the UWP Secretariat. That is true. Unfortunately, Keitha was unwell, and sometimes you see people going about their day laughing and joking and just taking it one step at a time, and you don't realize that these people, they're going through it. They have battles that they fight every day. They wake up every day, they breathe, they greet their families, they put one foot in front of the other, and they just keep swimming. And that was Kiefer to a T. So, of course, I want to extend heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Miss Keitha Charles, and to her children. She leaves behind 3. Her eldest, Kimani, he's an avid football player, and she never missed a game. So if any of you on here knew Kiefer, interacted with her, you may not have known that she was sick the whole time, because she never let it show. She just did what she had to do and put one foot in front of the other. And I'm sorry I don't think I couldn't attend the funeral today, because that would have been too much. So I opted to come here and spend my time with you guys. But she was a very dedicated individual, dedicated mom, and she will be sorely missed. So our condolences to the family and friends of Keitha Charles, and to the members of the Castries East constituency group, her friends and family, her kids, her partner, her mom, and her siblings. She will be missed. One of the strongest people I know. Kind of reminds me of Lisa Joseph. That grace, that carrying this burden with you everywhere, walking in it with grace, taking it one day at a time, just continuing to do what you have to do every day, putting one foot in front of the other, taking one step at a time while you are fighting this internal battle that nobody around you really knows about. I wish I can be that strong if I ever find myself in that situation. So guys, once again, condolences from everyone here at Fire FM to the family and friends of Miss Keitha Charles. Somebody else is saying good afternoon to you, Angie, and every hard talker, the truth haters, and the festers. Thanks for the laugh. Thanks for joining in and hope that we are able to impart real intelligence into you. Yeah, somebody else saying our flag is lowered to half-mast in a show of support, mourning, and sympathy as a result. Castries East, my condolences to you. That's coming from one of the other listeners on the live. I also want to send condolences on the loss of Keitha to Mr. Former candidate Peter Chico. His brother, Foster Chico, they were very close to Keitha. She was a pillar. And to former candidate Miss Fortuna Bell Rose, because Keitha was, let me tell you, flubble to the core, this girl, and worked very hard, ensuring that she did all she could for the development of Castries East. Very strong supporter, very hard worker. Like I said, she will be missed. Right, so you take the good with the bad in life sometimes, and this is one of the times. On to greater things. Well, not greater things, but our topic for today. So there's a lot going on. I've had time to reflect on certain things that I have seen happening in this country and trying to compare it to what went on before. And it seems to me, and maybe I might be feeling it the wrong way, but I feel a sense of malaise in the country, guys. And it's so prominent. It's affecting every sector. You go to the stores I had cause to visit an appliance store recently, and clothing stores and just businesses. I was just out shopping, and it struck me that in some of the businesses that I went to, I was the only person in there browsing around. I was the only person browsing. I looked around, and And I'm seeing it's almost as if St. Lucia is grinding to a halt. I don't know if it's just my perception. I don't know if I'm not seeing things properly or not understanding what is going on. And I went to the supermarket. And yes, there were a lot of people shopping at the supermarket, but at the same time, you could tell that in past times, I don't want to say past times because people might think I'm talking about the 1980s or the 1970s. No, I'm talking about last year, last month, a few weeks ago, a few months ago, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There would be more people out and about. I've noticed also that when you leave, when you're walking through the city, 7:30, 8 o'clock, it feels as if you are walking through a ghost town. Castries is all but deserted. You might find a few people on Lower Jeremy Street, mostly at the intersection or at the intersection of Jeremy Street and Darling Road. In that little area, that little corridor. But when you go deeper into the city, when you start going towards Manuel Street, or maybe you go in the opposite, I don't really know what these streets are called. I need to learn the streets in the city, guys. This is unacceptable for me. I mean, I can't be living in a country my whole life and not know the streets. It's horrible. It's a bad practice. St. Lucians, we need to stop that. We need to normalize knowing our streets. Somebody was asking me directions today. The person asked me where Bonnie Bakery was, and I could not remember the name of the street. And I had to say, you know what, ma'am, just go down this way. When you get to the next intersection, ask anyone. It's right around there. Somebody going to point you to it. A foreigner. She wanted to know where Jeremy Street was. That I knew. So I told her. And then she wanted to know where Bonnie's Bakery was. And I didn't know the name of the street. That's bad. We need to stop that. Sidebar. But honestly, St. Lucia, is it just me? Or have you also noticed that by 7:30 in the evening, the greater part of Castries is deserted? In fact, the only places where you will find pockets of people congregating or pockets of people in the area are at some of the busiest bus stops in the city. So you might find some people at the Grosley bus stop. You might find some people on the Babuno bus stop, on the Bexar bus stop, and then you might find a few people on the Vieux-Fort Dennery bus stop. But these days, even that is not guaranteed. The city is largely deserted from 7:30 onwards. The only other place you might see people is at one of the fast food restaurants. You might see people coming in to grab something to eat quickly before they head home. So you might see some people at churches, at Domino's, and maybe at KFC, but that is it. I've also noticed, St. Lucia, somebody's saying also Vieux-Fort, Angie. Well, yeah, Vieux-Fort has a lot less activity than Castries. I'm guessing. I'm not too familiar. I haven't really been to Vieux-Fort. so much in the past couple of years, so there's nothing for me to compare it to. But I'm saying, I am looking at this. And this to me, St. Lucia, to me, to my untrained eye, because I am not an economist, but I am someone who is a critical thinker. This to me signals a slowdown in the economy, because the economic activity is just not there. I've also noticed, guys, and I've said this on here before, I have noticed that the harbor, if you have to judge by Castries Harbor, it almost seems as if we are in lockdown. Guys, do not take my word for it. Any given day, just look at the harbor. You don't even see fishing boats going out, guys. You don't even see fishing boats going out. Isn't that just a signal that our economy is not doing well? I recall in the parliament, there was a debate between Tommy Descott and Senator Tommy Descott and Senator Alison Jean. And I remember Senator Descott saying that the economy is not in a good place. I recall that Senator Jean clapped back saying that the economy is healthy, but just because it is healthy, that doesn't mean that it cannot catch a cold. That doesn't mean that it cannot have temporary setbacks and stuff like that. But how do we tell a temporary setback? How do we measure a temporary setback from a full-on decline? How do we measure that? Because I'm telling you honestly, the economic activity, to my eyes, it has ground to a halt. I see construction happening in the city, yes, but I don't see it happening by St. Lucian companies. I see NH doing construction. I see GPH or St. Lucia Cruise Ports, GPH, St. Lucia. I'm not sure what is, I need to find out the proper way to address these people. I don't know if they are GPH or if they are St. Lucia Cruise Port, but let's just call them GPH for the sake of argument. I see GPH doing construction, engaging in construction at the arcade, at the boardwalk, and at the Fisherman's Village in Banans Bay. And the only other activity I see going on is a road rehabilitation next to what used to be a Judas gas station, between the road between a Judas gas station and the M&C building. That's it. I don't see any potholing going on our roads. Maybe they're not happening where I am. So guys, if you're listening and you know of any of these activities, please let us know. Okay? I don't see any desilting happening on our rivers. And of course we know that the hurricane season has begun. So it's June to November. Today is the 11th of June. And again, I'm being told that all works are now coming directly from the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister keeps talking about a building boom, a construction boom. Maybe I don't get out much, but I don't see this construction boom that the Prime Minister keeps alluding to. I don't see it. Of course, I do not go around the island and search for these things. I rely on persons telling me there's construction going on here, there's construction going on there, but I'm not even hearing that. I'm not even hearing that. So, guys, if you know, is there construction going on in Vieux-Fort, in Soufrière, in Choiseul, wherever you're from, around the island? Pipe in, come up on the live and let us know if there is some sort of major construction activity going on in your part of the woods. I'm not sure, but can anybody from the Bacatel area let us know? Oh, we have a caller on the line. Good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Angie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm really happy with how you began your session. You know, trying to focus on the positive
I'm trying.
because we have to.
Yeah.
We have to really stay sane. We have to. We cannot always lament the negative
Yeah.
because we as a people will, suffer by our own demise. To
Right.
just be continuing to lament over the bad things that are happening around us. And in every other aspect, there is good and bad.
Yeah.
And we have to be the salt of the earth and to shine a light on the places that has darkness.
True.
But there is a lot that can be done better in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And all we can do is really speak about it and let others know that, we are not fools in St. Lucia. We still have it as a people. We've produced 2 Nobel laureates, and hopefully we'll produce a third one before the century is over. And,
we do, guys. You keep forgetting we have 2 SAGBA laureates as well in the form of Mr. Oh God, I forgot his name. It was right there. Mr. Udovic, Jalil Udovic. When I remember the name, I'll tell you. But he is a sculptor. He's the older Udovic's son.
Right.
Who, by the way, he passed away recently, Mr. Udovic the senior.
Well,
Yeah, and because he was the founder of Udovic Art Studio, that's Mr. Udovic the senior. I can't remember his first name, but he passed away recently, and his son has been representing St. Lucia all over, sculpting all over in China, in Taiwan, all over the world, and he is a SAGBA laureate. He has the SAGBA prize in art and communications, and also Mr. Adrian Auger in art and communications as well. So let's not forget our excellent people.
Well, that is something I didn't even know.
Yeah, nobody's talking about that, but it's true.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Because again, we lament a lot of the bad, and we tend to forget, or to, try to make St. Lucians know, we have what it takes.
Yeah.
Julian Alfred, show us other people we have what it takes.
Yep.
Lord Spencer got there so many times, and little imperfections and not being able to get there. But she did very good on her own as well.
That's
we
right.
Have to
That's
also
right.
say that Laverne Spencer for many years carried the flag with
That
pride and
is
with
right. That is right.
And not many nations in the world have that, even get to the Olympics. They don't even qualify
that is
to
true.
get to the Olympics.
That is true. That is
For
true.
so many years, and now we are there, and now we are setting the bar. There are people who don't even know where St. Lucia is, but they know Julian Alfred.
That's true. And you know what? You're very correct, caller, because let me just tell you, I was watching, sometimes you go on Facebook and you just scroll through things. This lady was here on the beach, and she went live and she said, after watching Julian dominate in the 2024 Olympics, she just had to see where St. Lucia was. She had to see where she was from. So she saved her money and she came down to St. Lucia, and she's so happy that she is here.
A lot of people don't know St. Lucia. A lot of people would be, we would be surprised to know the amount of people in the world who don't know where St. Lucia is or don't know St. Lucia. And they will tell you probably, what you tell them the Caribbean, their automatic thought would be Jamaica.
Yes, or Barbados, or Barbados, or Trinidad.
Barbados, or maybe even Trinidad.
Yeah, and you know, people ask you, caller, what part, when you say I'm from St. Lucia, they ask you what part of Jamaica. I've had that happen to me. What part of Jamaica is that? Yeah.
Because Jamaica has a lot of the things as districts.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just categorize you as one of the parishes. So,
yeah.
You know, so even that we have to be happy, and we have to be, we have to have that joy in us that, we're studying all what's going on. We're studying that we could have been so much better as a people. The setbacks, what politicians tend to lie to us and make us believe and hide information from us and all these different things. And, we're realizing that, St. Lucia could have been so much better off, but, there's still a lot of good that is happening. Because I look at renewables, and sadly that one I guess happened under the UWP administration, but if that renewable energy wind farm thing had really taken off in Denmark, that is something that would have really helped us probably with the electrical bills right now. I'm looking at geothermal, the government just keeps dragging their foot on geothermal, dragging their foot, and it's this, and that has been happening from since Compton. I mean, Compton really tried, to get that off the ground, and it didn't work at the time, but now with better and more, advanced
better technology,
we would have an affirmative by now, but it's just dragging. Then you have the disposal side. I'm looking at that disposal side, that big glow, that mountain just keeps going up and up and up and up. And at some point, we won't be able to throw garbage at the glow anymore because you can see it visibly from the highway. There's sometimes when you pass on the highway, you can literally smell it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing being done
but you remember the fire, caller?
You remember fire that happened
there, yes,
for days.
And you know what they're saying? They're saying that the methane gas that had collected.
Now that is where I was going. The company that was trying to extract the methane gas from that site and generate it and turn it into electricity and renewables. But again, that was shut down. All of those things. Where are we going as a people? We live on an island that we basically get sun. I wouldn't say 365 days or 360 days, but we get a good amount of solar energy from the sun because we're in the tropics. And what are we doing to really harness that? You have countries in the north and in the northern hemisphere that don't even get so much sun as we, and they're trying their best to harness that, and they're just sitting on it. So there's a lot that could be done. Even the water situation, we keep crying and lamenting every year when it's the dry season. We keep saying, "Oh, there's no water, the north has no water." The Lucia has water.
We do have water.
I live in Denry, and Denry, we have water every day.
Yeah.
And when we don't have water, it's because some truck is taking the water to Castries and to Grosley.
Right.
That's when they shut off the water to fill up those trucks, and those trucks are there basically every day.
Wow.
Miku, I went to Shrosdale recently. I think after you pass that place where River Dore, there's this river just flowing there. In the dry season, you tell me St. Lucia don't have water. People up north don't have water. It's because government after government fail to put in the proper infrastructure to support the north, and they keep building hotels and hotels and hotels in the north, and they well know that they're already saturated. They've reached the point that resources are not being able. And much of already there. You'll keep having those people come and build new monstrosities in town, and the parody is there just being destroyed by the sea. you know. And there are other islands that have those beautiful hotels right by the sea, looking just like the Paradis,
Well, you
you
see
know.
the
And I'm saying,
issue.
what's
Let me
that?
tell you, caller. You mentioned La Parody, and you touched me. Let me tell you why. I saw I saw a rendering of what that hotel was supposed to look like. And caller, let me tell you, St. Lucia missed out. St. Lucia missed out. But the problem with La Paradis is the fact that this is being built on protected land. It was being built on the wildlife reserve. And although the permission was granted, but the individuals, from my recollection, who started this, they ran out of money, but because of the fact that it is so near to the wildlife reserve in the Frigate Islands, nobody's gonna, no financial institution is, environmental health is, environment is big. They would have to continue that project a private investor willing or able to provide the kind of finance they need, because the fact that it is on protected wildlife preserve, it negates them from getting any kind of funding from traditional banking. It's a very sad situation.
That,
Very sad situation. And they attempted to sell it, but again, it's very sad. But let me tell you something. That property would have been a game changer.
well, why the government themselves don't say, okay, the damage has been done. Maybe they choose to finish it and then get the investors in. That could be something done. Also thought of too.
Yeah.
It would take a lot of money,
Yeah.
but then at the end of the day, you would have the infrastructure in place. You would have it, and all you would need is for the investor to come in and then take it from there. You know, but to have that
Caller,
thing,
let me tell you, do you honestly believe that this government that we have are interested in that kind of thing?
hmm,
I don't know if it's just my
it's the
assessment. I don't know
how
if it's
is the
just my
uh,
assessment of them, caller, and maybe you might correct me and tell me, Angie, that's not what it is. But when I look at these people, caller, I don't see any desire of from them to do right
no,
by the people of Saint Lucia.
the,
I'm just hoping somebody can tell me, no, you have it wrong. But when I look at these
the
people,
government
I don't
came in
see.
and has been put in the had basically and placed themselves there
Hmm.
to do the things they can, the minimal that they can,
Yes,
to just get them to win another
that
election.
is what I see, caller. And I wanted to be
So
wrong. I really want
anything
to be
that would
wrong
take
about that.
effort, anything that would take chances. And I really lost a lot of how will I say it? I lost a lot of faith in Philip JPR
Hmm.
when he implemented that how you call it, minimum wage. And
Yes.
I keep telling people that I lost faith
Yes.
in this man. But while it was a good gesture,
Hmm.
and while it was something that would benefit the people of St. Lucia, this man implemented this and made it look like if everything went well, it was he who did it. And rightfully, I have no problem with that. He did
Yeah.
it. He stood there, he took that decision, and hey, it is, and it's
Yes.
him.
Yes.
And I have no problem with that. But what he did that really made me lose, that respect I had for him, is that if it went bad,
Hmm.
it is Alan Chasney. Because Alan Chasney was saying how the minimum wage would cause jobs. And some people
Well,
would not be
actually,
able
Alan
to pay.
Shastney was saying the minimum wage would put the already strained resources of the private sector in jeopardy.
Yes. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. Because at the end of the day, there is two sides to a point. Yes, you put in a minimum wage, and yes, it will help the people.
Hmm.
But also, you have to realize we are in a third world country. We are fighting to get there. We're not yet there. And a lot of the businesses, I mean the private sector, a lot of the businesses are struggling.
Yeah.
You understand?
And not just that. You have to make the point. You have to connect it to the fact that they are struggling because of previous policies from the same government. So you've burdened the private sector with a 2.5% health and security levy. You've increased import duties on cigarettes and alcohol. Those duties have increased by 100%, and they did it very, very quietly, very quietly. It was not, advertised. They did it in 2020. Was it 21? I can't remember when, but they did it in their first term, and they did it very quietly. Okay.
But we not have to be gazetted on these kind of things.
Yeah, but they did it very, very quietly. And they're saying that those duties, the big Senusians, they're using the health. They gave so many stories to make it seem as if they were doing something in the best interest of the people, right? And we have the CIF charges for imported goods increasing because the price of the good is increasing. And then you have that compounded health and security levy. And it's not just the levy that is making things difficult for the business community, is the way the levy is applied. So I don't know if many Sanusians know this, because sometimes you talk to Sanusians so much and they don't even internalize what you say. If this pair of earrings costs $5, right? That's what the manufacturer is selling it for, $5. And $5 plus the 12.5% VAT. And then after they calculate the $5 plus and they add the VAT, then you are paying 2.5% of the cost of the earrings plus the VAT. So when you pay the VAT, which is the value added tax, the 2.5% levy is taxing that VAT. That is illegal. That cannot be legal.
Plus, I think they have to categorize it, and it has its own charge. And some items still have environmental levy or whatever.
Some items carry a service charge. Some items, like vehicles, they carry environmental levy. So basically, Sanusians are being taxed. Guys, y'all don't understand it because you're not taking the time to look at it, but we are being taxed through the roof. And on top of that, and hold on, caller. On top of that, you're now asking these business people that have to pay all of those added operational costs. You're asking them, because as soon as he came in, he increased the cost of fuel. You're asking them to pay additional fuel. You're asking them to now pay a 2.5% health and security, now raise their salaries and pay a minimum wage. You're asking them to pay higher electrical costs. You're asking them to now. It's the business community is catching their royal. They are catching it. They may not want to say anything because they don't want to be victimized. Because believe it or not, a lot of business people in St. Lucia, they rely on government contracts.
Yeah.
Okay? They rely on government subsidies. They rely on the government to survive. Even if it's a tax amnesty or whatever. And this government is big on victimization. And we pretend as if that is not true. They're catching it, caller. They are catching it, the business community. They are catching it.
I was saying where I really did not like what he said is that if things go sour or people lose their jobs, it's because of Alan Shafee. You cannot make such a statement. You cannot say that. You took the decision. You made that decision. You have to own up and live with that decision.
Yeah.
If it's a good one and everyone benefits and everything happens, it is your decision.
Right.
Hooray! You did it. There were governments in the past, they didn't do it. Or they were saying they were going to do it, they didn't do it. You did it. if things don't work out and a lot of people lose their jobs, it is still you who did it. Maybe they lose their jobs now. In the longer run, they will get other jobs. They will change their things will change. But you cannot make it look like it is he that is causing. He's spreading propaganda and he's making things look so bad that I, as an employer, will say, you know what, Alan Chastney is right. Let me just drop these people. That don't make sense.
Yeah. You're
And
right about that.
This is the theory. I call it the Philip theory. That the PP Philip theory that everything good is him. And everything bad is to be the opposition.
You're
an enemy of the state.
Yes.
You're an enemy of progress.
Yes.
You have to protect the victory.
Yes.
Because these enemies of progress. Which solution is an enemy of progress and enemy of the state? Which solution? What school we go first to learn that?
And actually, caller, you might not believe me when I tell you that, but do you know that I believe wholeheartedly with my whole soul that all the enemies of the state are sitting at on the fifth floor of the Graham Louise building?
Not there only, huh? Not there only, because I will tell you, I heard this guy, what's his name, Mr. Shelton Daniel, once said on TV, on record, that's not anything where somebody can say they bring me to court, because that's supposed to be public knowledge on Facebook, on YouTube, or whatever.
Yeah.
If there is a disease, if the Labour Party has a disease, he's the disease.
Wow.
He's not making any bones about it. He's not saying anything. If the Labour Party has to have a disease, he may as well be the disease.
Wow.
Because, too many compromises, we like as if like they're Labour people who compromise and they will say that the Philip JP administration is not doing this good and not doing. No, you have to be strong in what you're doing. Whatever they're doing is right. Whether it's bad or good, it's right. If Labour is a disease, he's the disease. He will be the disease. What nonsense is this?
How does that even begin to make sense, caller? We are all St. Lucians. Let me ask you a question, caller. We are all St. Lucians. Whether you vote for the Labour Party, whether you vote for the Green Party, whether you vote for the UWP, whether you support an independent candidate, whether you don't vote at all and you don't believe that voting makes any sense, because I heard people say that, you are still a St. Lucian. Every policy that comes out of the government buildings, you are affected. Every bad decision, you are affected. Every tax, you pay it. Everything that go. For example, and this is one that they always talk about. All of the nonsense going on with the CIP, who are the ones losing their visas?
Us St. Lucians.
Despite who we vote for. And you know what the Prime Minister said?
And who's benefiting from it? Foreigners.
You know what the Prime Minister said? The Prime Minister said, when you're saying these things as if it's me, as if it's Philip JP, you're going to hurt. You're not hurting me. I will always be able to travel. As long as I am in office, I will have a diplomatic visa. You know who you're thinking? The country. That's what he said,
that
caller.
Statement has no bounds. It has no boundaries. It has no, no real feelings behind it. As a leader who's supposed to care for the people of his country, who knows that, we don't even have proper health care.
Yeah.
That anytime you fall sick is maddening, or you have to run to the states, or you have to.
And here's another thing. Here is another thing. The Governor General fell sick. Where did he go? Tapio?
Martinique.
OKEO? No, Martinique. You know who was paying for that trip, caller?
Okay, all right.
Me, you.
And to make it worse, and they don't even pay it on time. No. And then they have the Martinique people, the French people looking at us bad. All of those things, because all of these treatments, they don't get paid on time. They put it on the St. Lucian tab.
Yes, yes. And they pretend
then they come and make us look bad. And
do you recall?
Don't pay their bills.
Do you recall when they first came into office in 2021, and the Martinicans decided that they were going to call in monies that had been owed from since the Kenny Anthony administration?
Right.
Do you recall Musa coming out and say that he paid the bills for the previous administration? And when you think back to the previous administration, I do not recall one member of parliament
going to Matnik.
Between 2016 and 2021 going to Matnik for treatment. I do not recall.
With all our
But
COVID and everything,
with everything, I do not recall any member of parliament going overseas for treatment. If you have evidence, or if you recall that a member of parliament between 2016 and 2021 going to Matnik, please feel free, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not recall any of that. But I do recall. I was just about to say that. I recall Jade Brown or Jade Jean-Pierre, whichever one of them, right, falling sick and being sent to Martinique.
From Bexor.
Right.
From Catherine South.
Right. Joachim Henry.
Yes.
Overseas.
Okay. General overseas.
Yes. And I'm not saying that it is not their right and we shouldn't take care of our public servants and our leaders. We do. But let us be honest.
No.
It's the honesty I cannot take. The dishonesty. Yes.
On time. Don't just look bad.
Right.
You know? They will probably give us a whole hospital for us to stay in our country, and yet we still come into theirs.
Exactly. You know, you're very correct about that, caller. You are extremely correct. You are so correct.
You know, and we're so petty, we're so ridiculous. We cannot even put the right. I tell you, I have a cousin who fell sick, and that cousin had to go overseas. I'm not gonna disclose where he went.
Right.
And the guy is telling me that he spent a while up there. He got better. He come back here, and he cannot even. He has to give the how you call it, the medical center updates on his treatment. They want him to at least come up every 3 months. He cannot come up every 3 months. So they tell him, he has to do a scan. We don't have that scan in Saint Lucia. It cannot be done in Saint Lucia.
Wow.
Where can the scan be done? Martinique. Apart from Martinique, where else? The United States.
Wow.
You mean to tell me you have the St. Jude's Hospital there? You cannot finish the hospital, make the hospital a proper cancer treatment facility, make it a proper COPD treatment facility, because we know it coming, we know these things coming, and that is where this government has no plans. We know it coming, because you want to legalize marijuana.
That's right.
Legalize everything and make it look nice, but you're not looking at the ramifications of those actions. And every young boy have always on the block and smoking and all those things. They don't have health insurance. We know that wave is coming when a lot of our young boys will have, and young men, because at that time they'll be young men, will have COPD and would not know how and where to put them. So this is now we have to start putting things in place. No, they prefer the easy way to go, the way that that is contentious and concurrent, is to let the hospital mash up. Let it go away. It's just money, not solutions money. Just money that do it. Let it mash up and let us go into the older building. That is where the history is. That is this. That is that. All of those things. As a people, we have to open our eyes and realize, this government is not in our interest, in our long-term interest. They're just there for political survival.
That's right. Short-term political expediency.
Every 5 years. And Angie, to your question, I think the first question you really asked is the economy, what is going on in the economy? What is going on in the economy is nothing. You realize after every election, there is that period, either like a year or 2 years, when nothing happens in the economy.
Yeah.
You understand? And it tends to be when there is a transition in government. The government is transitioning, the government is trying to put things in order, they're trying to figure out what the last government did, there is no handover, there is, that it's sort of like a, let's see what we're dealing with kind of situation.
Right.
But the thing with this government is y'all were the last government. Why is the economy so slow? Why is nothing happening? It's not only
they were the last government, caller? You sure they know that?
They were the last government.
Are you sure that they are aware that they were the last government? Because I don't think they are aware. I don't think
But
they are
I am
aware.
aware, they're not aware, I'm aware for them that they were the last government.
Because
You know?
I heard Lisa Jawair in the parliament in about speaking about the budget and saying that the previous administration, and I'm saying to
Mm-hmm.
myself, but aren't you all the previous administration?
Uh,
And then I heard several other ministers talk about the previous
the
administration.
previous
And I had to
administration.
check my
Well,
calendar to find out what year it is because
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
y'all
mm-hmm.
were the previous administration. That
I'm
was
telling
you.
you,
That was
one of
you.
the people commented and said Viewfort is dead slow. And Viewfort is slow from maybe around 5, 6 o'clock. 5. Castries is
Wow.
7, you said? Viewfort is 5. You
Wow.
understand? Soufrière is another place that is just, Soufrière is not what it used to be. A lot of people tell you Soufrière was like the Viewfort
Yeah.
of the West before. Everything was through Soufrière. Commerce used to happen through. Soufrière is almost dead now. Businesses are
Wow.
suffering there. I tell you, I have inside information about a business in
Uh-huh.
Soufrière that, it's one of the leading businesses in St. Lucia and it is struggling in Soufrière.
Wow.
So things are not happening in Soufrière. The only place I can really tell about is maybe Grosley, and Grosley maybe the only bright spot because we have
Of the
centered,
tourists.
everything around Grosley, tourism,
Yeah.
everything around Grosley. But it's really sad because you need that counterweight, you need that counterbalance, and I think
Yeah.
Viewfort is that counterbalance. And we've neglected
Well,
Viewfort for way too
it
long.
should be because caller, you need to remember that when Alan Shastney was making plans to revitalize and revamp Viewfort Town, to bring in horse racing, to bring in a home porting, to build Viewfort up, somebody saying
That is
Soufrière
sad.
is dead, to bring Viewfort up into the 21st century,
Hmm.
what were we being told? Alan
Oh, yeah.
Shastney was paying Ojo Labs and the other thing to keep
Mhm,
St. Lucian
mhm,
children employed. And I'm saying
mhm.
in my mind, but what's wrong with that?
With that, you have to change your system,
What's
especially
wrong with
if the people
that?
are not going to come to you. That's why I told you about the parody. Why doesn't the government itself go and invest in the parody?
They're not going to
And
do
then the
that, caller.
investors will come. Sometimes you have to be the spark. You have to do what you have to do and tell the investors it's already there. Just come in and do what you'll have to do. We already have the infrastructure. You cannot
Caller,
always depend on the infra for the investor to do everything because we're coming in a world that they don't want to.
caller, you
They
sound
don't
like
want
you
to.
sound like you actually want the government to work for their salaries, caller. I don't think the government is too fond of that kind of thing.
That's
Everything
the
our
problem we
government
have.
does is bare
Uh,
minimum to collect their salary, bare
That's the problem
minimum.
we have,
That
Michelle,
is
because
how I feel.
that's what the government has realized, that the people will not speak. They divide the people. Either you are enemy of the state or you protect the damn victory. So they divide the people first. You're not a St. Lucian. You either UWP supporter or SLP supporter. You're not even independent. You UWP or you SLP. That's how they divide.
Yeah.
And then they do the basic minimum. They don't do much. We in June. Today is the 11th of June. Hurricane season. They've not desilted one river, and the Prime Minister is still talking about, oh, we will be desilting rivers. Well, they didn't desilt last year. Last year was we passed the hurricane season the same way. The year
Yeah.
before that, they didn't desilt. You pass through Bexon, you go through as if you're going through Hudson, that bridge there before Guy Joseph, where he had his campaign office, and just before Lisa Joyer
Yeah.
office,
Yeah.
the bridge there is full of debris,
Yeah.
bottles, bamboo sticks. It is just disgusting. But it's not only disgusting, it's also dangerous. Because any flash flood we get there, that bridge could be gone.
Yep.
And the rep office is right there. And
Yeah.
you're telling me you're not seeing that? I taking a bus from Denry to Castries. I seen it. You not seeing it, and you're the representative. Your Zelevs, how they calling them, not seeing it. They fixed up the handle of the bridge. They did not see it until you take pictures to see how bad that thing is there. So you need government funding for it to clean that. You cannot ask the Prime Minister when you are doing his budget or whatever, can that thing please be cleared before the hurricane season starts? We're not gonna wait. You couldn't ask your council members because Castries South East has a council to at least work on that. That is not in your purview as a minister. So this is the kind of thing, St. Lucians, we need to open our eyes because these politicians are basically trying to separate us.
Yeah.
They're trying to separate us and they're doing the bare minimum. And then if you look at carefully, they do nothing in
Nothing.
the first year of of them being there. They do nothing in the second year or little. And then third year, then they will start to do one little two projects for their friends. You have to look at it very carefully, the psychology. For their friends, they handpick who gets in the third year and the fourth and the fifth year. Oh, things start to come. Money comes from wherever. You understand? All the money they didn't have before, it comes now.
It shows up.
Because at the end of the day, they want you to vote for them again. So then, in the fourth and the fifth year, contracts fly left, right, and center. But that is your money. That's your tax money. That is your CIP money that they sell your passport and to that. You cannot go to England. It's so expensive to go to England now just to get the visa. It's so expensive. And then for you to get the flight, you understand? That is your sacrifices there. And then now are giving it to you and making it look like it's theirs and they're giving you a favor.
You're right.
It's not a favor. That is your tax money. That is your hard work, your sweat. This is what you get in there. So they're just redistributing the wealth.
Yep.
And they keep separating you and saying, "Usan flabo, moi sa vous san flabo." And I still ba one bagay, when I ba one bagay, me moi sa vous san flabo.
And so I was told, caller, that during the last election, a certain minister, when people came to his office to seek help, and by the way, guys, it doesn't matter who you voted for. The government ministers are not the government ministers of the SLP. They are the government ministers of St. Lucia. Remember that.
But Angie, this is the psychology they use. Because you cannot tell me you in parliament and in press briefings, you are saying the St. Lucia Labour Party government. That is ridiculous. And somebody, I don't know how this is happening in St. Lucia.
Now let me go back.
Government of St. Lucia.
Exactly. Let me go back to what I was saying.
No Labour Party government.
Exactly. Let me go back to my point earlier. A certain rep was, if you came, say if I had gone to that rep to ask for help for something, when that rep helped me, they would say to me, they would look me in the eye, hold my hand, and say, "Remember who helped you."
Yeah. And that's not the only rep who was doing it. My rep was doing it too. My rep was doing it too, and that has not been a one-time thing. They've been doing that for years.
Remember who helped you.
You are my rep, whether I vote for you or not. You are my representative. The eyes have it. The more votes have it.
Yeah.
Except if you know something I don't know, you probably know. For sure I didn't vote for him. I can campaign, and when the deal comes, I vote the other side.
I don't vote at all. I know people that campaigned and didn't even vote at all.
Voting booth, stand up there, look at the paper, put it in the box, and it don't have nothing on it.
Yeah.
Or I can spoil my vote.
Because somebody voted for a certain rep in Castries Southeast and signed their name on the paper.
Okay. And you expect that to go through? But there's so many things that we people could do, and we make it look like, because the how you call it, the not non-registered, but the spoiled votes is so bad. That these people are ignorant. That is another nonsense we have to move in our country. Fix up that system. The spoiled votes, people are ignorant and they cannot sign. They don't know how to. No, sometimes it's a protest vote.
Yes.
It could whereas be a protest vote that I'm not voting for none of y'all because none of y'all making sense.
Yeah.
So we need to fix that in our system. There's a lot of things that we need to fix in this country now. A lot of things. Because it is not getting the essence of who we are as a people. And that's why a lot of people are just not even going and waste their time. They're not going to the polls. A lot of the young people are just feel disenfranchised. They don't go. What's the point? I vote that side, you see in the country the same way. I vote the other side, the country is the same way.
Caller, I can tell you that people were actually saying that. People were actually saying in a certain constituency that they were not going to vote because it doesn't matter who they vote for, the end result is always the same.
It's the same,
Nothing changes.
So the parties need to hear that. They need to listen and they need to hear that. So especially the one in opposition, because the government want to busy defending their victory. But the opposition needs to listen to the people and get to know why the young people are not going and vote. You know, the elder ones are important too. Yes, they are important, and a lot of them they will vote where you cannot change their mind. But why are the young people not voting? That means that a lot of people see no hope in this country. A lot of people are trying to get away from this country. But guess what? The whole world is a mess now. You know, the whole world is a mess. So we need to try and fix what we have, and we have the capability of doing it. We've produced two Nobel laureates on this soil, this small island. We have the per capita in the world. Just
We
like
have
we're
the
high on the
most.
crime, we're high on the knowledge.
Yep.
So let's use it and stop making politicians divide us and make us feel as if we they know everything. Because a lot of what they're doing is hiding information from us, it's
Yep.
hiding the knowledge from us, it's not allowing us to go to school, you know, and all of those things so that at the end of the day, they have that grip on us. Or they can frustrate us, because that's also a tactic that they use. They frustrate us that we don't vote. So
Yeah.
when we don't vote, we actually vote. We vote for whoever the masses vote for. And
Yep.
sometimes the masses could be sheep. You understand?
Could
The
be Paula.
intellects need to make their voices heard. The politicians need to come to the people, because they say the voices of the people is the voice of God. Come to the people and discuss the matters,
Yeah.
discuss the issues, make the country a better place. And with more voices, with more heads coming together. I always say I don't know why St. Lucia we even pay for, you know, consultancy. I'm thinking, to me, you have people in all different sectors. Why not put them in committees, in groups, in think tanks, and we come up with solutions. The politicians will not have all the solutions.
Yeah.
You know, we have economists, we have people who work in government, we have people who work in the private sector who can contribute to St. Lucia being a better place, being a prime. We've fallen so short, fallen
Paula, let
so
me tell you.
backwards in the OECS. Right now, the leader of the OECS is Antigua, you know. You know that, right? Antigua is the leader, the capital of the OECS. We just a figurehead. We just have the secretariat here. But Antigua is making things happen with that man, you know, with Mr. What's his name? Mr. the Prime Minister there.
I'm not sure who the prime minister is. I think it's
Brown, something Brown, you
okay.
know.
Gaston
This
Brown.
man makes things, Gaston
Gaston
Brown, this
Brown.
man
Yeah.
makes things happen, you know. St. Kitts is another one. Making things happen. Dominica, I mean, it's like another Philip JP. But at least things are happening there.
Yeah.
With Chinese help or whatever, but things are happening. St. Vincent, things are happening. We're sending people in St. Lucia to get healthcare in St. Vincent, so something good must be happening down there. St. Vincent has opened
Paula,
international airport, bridge to
Saint
their planes.
Vincent
Something good is
just
happening there.
Saint Vincent just implemented our plan for national health care. You know, national health insurance.
Okay. So
They've
things are
just
happening down there.
implemented Shasni's idea for national
Okay.
health insurance. And when I heard that, I have a Vincentian friend who
Mm-hmm.
was who lives in Saint Lucia, who was
Mm-hmm.
campaigning against Shasni. I don't have to tell you how badly I went off on this individual. Because this individual went to St. Vincent to vote for the UWP down
To
here,
vote.
came here and told everybody don't
What?
vote for Shasni, and came and vote for Labour here, and then you
That's
get in
a
my healthcare.
joke.
Let me
Angie, that's
no,
a joke.
I am I'm
What?
dead serious. I am dead serious. I told that person things so much. I'm surprised that person's still telling me good morning.
What?
That
You
hurt
go down
me.
there, vote conservative, and come up here and vote
That
liberal?
hurt me in my collar. My soul was in pain. My
Oh my
soul
God.
was in pain. My soul was in pain. And let me tell you, I let that person have it. I unleashed on that person because you cannot be like that.
Honestly, I don't know how. I know of once Vincentian who lives there in St. Lucia and died with cancer, right? So that was the I think she was a soca artist.
Oh, you're talking
Um,
about body, what was her name? This girl that sang "Winding Up Is We Culture."
Yes, yes. I don't know how I would die. I would die in somebody. Well, I guess she made Saint Lucia her home. Saint Lucia is her home now. But
I think
trust me, I would
she
have
one
been
of her
going back to
parents.
my
I think
home.
one of her parents was Saint Lucian.
Saint Lucia.
I think so.
Okay. I'll go to Saint Vincent and get treatment because this is ridiculous. You know that you people have to be having, how you call it, begging, please, how do you call it, that thing again, GoFundMe pages, all of those things,
Yeah.
to get a little health care, proper health care. And you
Nicole
have a
David. That was her name. Nicole David.
Nicole David, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have a party that's telling you, come on, we can do this. We can set up an insurance. If everybody contributes, they can actually get, coverage. Even though you don't get coverage on island, you can go
Yeah.
the same mat, they can pay for
Yeah.
your bills.
Yeah.
You don't have to beg on government to give you money. You have that. And we turn it down. We turn that
Caller,
down.
I am so sorry, but that day I put all my Christianity on a side and I let that person have it so badly.
Yeah.
I was even embarrassed. I was even ashamed of myself when I was done. But I let that person have it. Yeah, I let that person have it. Trust me, I did not play.
The thing, Angie, is that is what the Labour Party. That is that is what they specialize in when you really think about it. Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer.
That thing can be the best solution for the country. But the fact that they are not the ones implementing it,
right,
and they will not do it. The fact that they're not the ones implementing it, they will not allow it to pass through.
Yeah.
And somebody who feels they feel they know better, or that's not the case, I challenge them. Because Compton is Compton is the epitome of that. The Labour Party was on Compton case from years. Time memorial, NIC. You understand? The banana situation when he told us farmers put together and try and do a plan. Let's do a plan. No! The Labour Party again. No! We want farmers need their money in their hands. All their money in their hands. We're not doing that. Until they watch NIC. Watch NIC today.
No, hold on. Let me just tell you something that is so ironic, Cole. I'm enjoying this conversation. Do you recall who the first government was who borrowed money from NIC to implement capital projects?
No, I wasn't at that time.
Kenny Anthony.
Okay.
Kenny Anthony.
Okay.
Was the first. He was the one who.
And
he was the one.
How bad they make Chasney look when he borrowed money for Slasper, right? You know how they demonize him. You know how is NIC money, this and that and that. You know. How again they demonize him when he asked for the money for people who were unemployed during COVID. But all those years have been putting money into NIC. So they're supposed to wait for when they're 60. Some of them never see 60, 65, never see it. They die and they cannot get a penny of their money. You know how that Labour Party made the government look so bad? Why are they playing in the NIC money? The question is, without the UWP, would NIC even be
there in the first place?
Would it even be there? It's still that same party that fought y'all to put it there.
Yeah.
That same party that fought y'all to get independence. Y'all didn't even want independence, or y'all want independence on your own time, or maybe y'all wanted your colors in the flag, or whatever it was. That was the hindrance at the time. But y'all cannot put a whole country behind for y'all as a party. And it comes back to that same Shelton Daniels statement that, at the end of the day, if labor is a disease, he's the disease. Or you have to be the disease. At the end of the day, no, it has to be country first. Party first or second or fourth. Because the way I would put it is country first. Me second. No. God first. Country second.
Yeah.
Me third. Party 4, 4, 3, 4, 6, because my family coming in front of party still, because a lot of people in St. Lucia are angry and vexed at their own family because of politics and politicians who do not care about them.
Yep.
If you have to fall sick and go to VH there right now, not VH, OKEU or St. Jude's and you need blood, no politician will give you blood.
Nope.
Your family.
Yep.
fighting and killing each other, brother fighting with brother, killing each other for politics. What is this? What is this?
It is Saint Lucia caller. Anyway, as much as I love
That
this
is not
conversation,
becoming again as a country that produced 2 Nobel laureates are supposed to know
better.
better. Who produce people like Julian Alfred to make us be happy on the world stage and be proud. We need a lot of work in this country. A lot of work. You know, and it has to start from the schools, and it has to start from the family units. You know, too many people are having children, unplanned children, and they don't know. It's a problem with the state afterwards. Too many people are having, you know, they are living their lives on the whim. You know, there's no planning in what they do.
Yeah.
You understand? Too much. A teacher come and correct your child, and you more upset at the teacher. But sometimes you don't even have money to give your child to have breakfast and lunch, and it's the same teacher.
Yeah.
All of those things we have to change. Send our children to church. You know? Because we're not going because church not doing nothing for nobody, church not safe. But we have to realize church instilled a lot of morals into our society. You know? Made us who we were. I'm not saying who we are because we've changed.
Yeah.
But who we were as a people, more loving. You know, that could me spirit, that was St. Lucia. Could me.
Hey, caller, slow your roll. I mean, you recall the Prime Minister saying that we have to go back to Kudme? I don't think he meant it in the community spirit way you're referring to it. But he said that.
We have to go back to Kudme.
We have to go back to Kudme. That's our statement.
Kudme and Flabo Kudme, probably.
I'm not sure.
He speaks on one side and the other side is something else.
I'm not sure.
That's how he speaks, you know. This Prime Minister is not one of bringing people together, because you would not tell me after 6 months, it's 6 months after election, I'm going through Miku, I'm seeing Jeremiah's poster bright, big and bold. Monripo has 2. I think Miku has 1. Go down to Viewfort, first thing you're being greeted with is Mr. What's his name? The rep down there, I don't really know his
Butcher.
name. Butcher. Yeah, Butcher. That's the first thing that greets you come to Viewfort. In Castries, as soon as you reach by the market, Richard Frederick, teeth outside, smiling, looking at you. You know? Then, come on, man. The election was 6 months ago. Put all those things aside and govern other people. What you're trying to prove?
Caller,
what are you trying to prove?
Honestly, in my view, and I may be wrong again, I'm subject to correction on this. I get the feeling that the Prime Minister has given up on governing the country and is simply looking to take care of his people. I may be wrong, guys. I may be wrong. I don't know everything. But this is the impression I get when I realize that there is nothing going on. And we cannot even get...
That's what you fight for. That's what you wanted.
We cannot even get proper explanations. For example, do we know how Tyson died up to now?
Okay.
Do we know any of the pertinent questions? Do we know how many passports were sold for CIP up to now? Do we know how much money we generated or how much money those developers generated? Up to now, we don't know. Do we even know which companies now have CIP contracts? We do not know.
Now, they will never implement.
They will never tell
us those legislations that would have them to disclose that the Ecuador agreement, and I think there was another policy out there. You know, freedom of information. They will never implement those things because those things will hold them accountable. You know, and this is what we again as a people need to be fighting for. Who's fighting for us? Who's speaking about those things? All of the lawyers, all of those people, Martinez, all of those people are in cahoots with the government.
Yep.
You know, when it's UWP, you cannot not have a deputy speaker of the House.
Yeah.
It is legislation. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to bring you to court. Okay, fine. That's what you do. You can do as a how will I say, as a lawyer, as a concerned citizen. It's your right to do that. But then when other things are happening in the country and nobody knows nothing when the shoe is on the other foot, where is that same passion?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Another one is Catherine Seeley.
Oh,
This
Lord.
lady is like a hog when it comes to UWP in power. Anybody they kill and
do me
they
a
kill this
favor,
woman.
caller. Do me a favor. Can we not speak about this individual, please?
I'm telling you,
can we
Angie,
not
that is the same
speak
thing.
about this particular caller, I don't want to hear this individual's name.
What the game is, what the labor game is, because these people, I don't know if they're being paid. I don't know what the situation is, but you have people now, women being killed in this country. Labor is in power. Women are being killed, being slaughtered, and not a word, not a word, not a word.
Well, she did make let me tell you, when this lady was asked to speak on a particular murder, you know what she said? Don't ask me to say anything. I am not the PS of gender.
That's what she said. When you be in power, why are you the PS of everything? You speak with an authority. You speak with a vexation. You
an
speak
authority that you do not even have.
About this, and you have that authority to speak. But when the shoe is on the other foot, you have nothing to say. That is hypocrisy to the highest level. At St. Lucian's, we need to open our eyes, because all of those people, I don't know if they're paying them. If I'll be wrong to say they're paying them. But at the end of the day, they must be getting something from that. That is not normal.
Yeah.
That is not normal. And to me, as a private citizen, as somebody who would want to hold my party and my government accountable, I speak more against my government when they're in power. I do that because you're not going to come there, make me waste my time, leave work, stand on the line, vote for you.
And then you come in and do nonsense, yeah?
They can say what they want. They can say that, this guy is left and right and he not a follower. I don't care. When I waste my time to come and vote for you, you better hold yourself accountable. Yeah. And I will not embarrass myself in front of anybody that say, boy, your prime minister, how I is that. I refuse to do that, because I will let you know before anybody embarrass me that you are embarrassing me and you are embarrassing the people of St. Lucia. Yeah. And this is what we need in this country. And this tribalism, you first are St. Lucia, and St. Lucia has to come first. And when things are not going right,
that is right. That is right. That is right. I agree with you so much, caller. Thank you so much for that contribution. Because
nice conversation.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this conversation. I like when people who I like right thinking St. Lucians to call my show and to speak on things, because sometimes, Lord, I don't know what we have. I don't know. I don't know what we're going through in this country, but we're going through it. We're going through a lot.
What going through is politicians knowing the game and knowing how to treat St. Lucia, and I gave you the whole system that you use. From when they win to when they have to be re-elected. That is what they use. And probably when they realize that they cannot use the system too much, they call early elections. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Because at the end of the day, if you have to wait for the 5 years, the resources will run out and the people will see through them. But we St. Lucians need to see through them from day one, because this government was the last government.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason why things have to be so slow in this country there right now. Yeah. There's no reason.
There should let's speak properly. There should not be a reason, but we know, you and I know there is a reason, because the resources are running out. It is running out. And there is nothing, and now they're trying to recoup. Now I believe, and God forgive me if I am wrong, but this is my opinion, they're trying desperately to recoup. That's why they're having all that tax amnesty. They're trying to recoup the losses by taking it off the backs of the people, but that's not going to work. That is not going to work, because the people have caught on, and the people are saving their money. The people are not spending. The people are not going out. So they're enticing the people. VAT-free day. They're enticing the people. Jazz, carnival, and all of those other fets.
Yeah, because things are looking too bright.
Yeah. So now, I don't know if you saw the pre-cabinet press briefing where the Prime Minister was asked what is his fiscal policy, and he said taxation. But if the people not spending, how are you taxing them?
You can tax.
Exactly.
Get me to wonder, is this guy really an economist? Is he really an economist?
The man never proclaimed to be an economist. People said he was an economist. The man is an accountant. The man can count money. He don't know how to make money. But thank you so much for that contribution, caller. And I welcome Edith. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much. But it's good to not have to listen to my voice all the time. I invite people. You have something to say it. Because your opinion, your voice matters. This is our country. And let us fight for what we believe in.
It don't matter because people tell me all the time, I heard you call, it's fine, it's okay. There are a lot of them who hear me and they'll not tell me they hear me because they don't like what I say. But it is okay.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, God gave all of us free will and He gave all of us a brain.
That's right. Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. Thank you so much. Okay. Guys, wow, we went over our time. Time for a quick commercial break. And, the phone lines are open. Feel free to voice your opinions because it's not just my country. I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but it's good to hear other St. Lucians understanding the assignment. That's how I'm going to say it. It's good when other St. Lucians understand the assignment and they come together and they speak out. Because that's what we need. We're taking a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Is your solar water heater tank leaking, worn out, or no longer performing efficiently? Upgrade your unit without the cost of a completely new system. Tropical Solar now offers tank upgrades and replacements for existing solar water heating units, including systems from other brands. Keep your existing heating panel and replace the tank with a reliable Tropical Solar tank designed for lasting performance and efficiency. Need a panel replacement too? Tropical Solar can help with that as well. Call Tropical Solar today for more information. In Castries, 453-1868. In Gros-Islet, 450-8201. And in Vieux-Fort, 454-6344. Tropical Solar, giving new life to your existing solar water heating system.
You already know the power of Lix products on your clothes and household. You lixed your whites and colored clothes, leaving them fresh and scented. You lixed your dishes and left your hands protected with vitamin E. You lixed your floors, even lixed your toilets. Now we expand and bring you 3 new scents in our bags. Balmy Sunshine, Summer Sunshine, and Thousand Flowers. And Lix those stains off of colored clothes with Lix Color Safe Bleach. Lix went even further with body care growing soap bars, deodorant, and antibacterial. So Lix tiredness and bacteria. Refresh your tired body. Your products give you Lix. Then choose Lix from Canadian Distribution Inc. Available at all leading supermarkets.
Meet the summer heat with a relaxing glide down Bell's over. Leave your cares behind as you immerse yourself in the tranquility of nature. Kids home from school, no problem. Take them along on an unforgettable adventure. St. Lucia Bamboo Rafting introduces its summer river special. Start with a welcome cocktail to set the mood. Then enjoy a 90-minute guided tour and a cooler filled with drinks for your refreshment. It'll start from 9:30 a.m. and go out every 2 hours with the last tour at 3:30 p.m. Adults pay 100 EC per person. Kids ages 5 to 11 years old, 50 EC. We are located in the User Valley, next to St. Lucia Distillers. For reservations, call 1-758-720-2020. Don't forget to like St. Lucia Bamboo Rafting on Facebook and Instagram. St. Lucia Bamboo Rafting. Let us take you from stressed to relaxed in 90 minutes flat.
Pretty soon my land will be gone in the hands of
Fire FM 107.7 presents Full Disclosure. A hard-hitting political program bringing you the facts on political issues. Hosted by Foster Chico. Every Monday from 4 to 7 p.m. p.m. on Fire FM 107.7. Call us at 758-572-3473. It's Full Disclosure this Monday and every Monday, 4 to 7 p.m. with Foster Chico.
Looking for a new way to enjoy your St. Lucia vacation? Book a tailor-made tour with Seabreeze Adventures. Explore the island's untouched natural beauty as you visit hidden coves and beaches along the coastline with any one-of-our whole or half-day experience. We offer a variety of adventure opportunities, including sport fishing, sunset cruises, island adventures, whale and dolphin watching, and simple taxi service. To book, contact Captain Warren at telephone number 1758-713-3196. Seabreeze Adventures, not just a tour, but an adventure.
You're back listening to Fire 107.7 FM, and this is Hard Talk. And guys, let me tell you, I don't know how you're gonna follow this last caller, because that caller was on point. That caller understood the assignment. Whoever you are, thank you for your contribution this afternoon. Let's go to the Facebook platform. Let's give our people over there a voice. Somebody is saying, these Lucians who work for GPH, according to the saying, they have a pass to pass. Oh, we have another caller. Good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
Good afternoon to you, Angie, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to do some freestyling. It's Fire FM karaoke hour.
No. You're not going to come here and do like the commissioner of police at the opening of custody suites at all. No. Because let me tell you, you know what happened after that? After the commissioner of police had that freestyle he carried his own key to the opening. The crime rate surged in St. Lucia. So I don't want to take the chance with that one, caller. No. I not trust it.
Let me carry my. Could you please permit me to carry my key?
But how is here you want to carry your key, caller? Put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket.
Because Hard Talk is the number one talk show, afternoon talk show. So
you think so?
Let me attempt to carry my
No. I think Timothy Polio will have a problem with you.
Timothy Polio is the most monitored.
He's the most monitored.
Hard Talk is the number one afternoon talk show. So, could you please permit me to carry my key?
No, caller, you'll lose it. Put it in your pocket. But what is your take? Because I saw your messages. You seem to be very happy with the points made by my previous caller.
Yeah, the caller before me, he was very, very on point. Everything that he said is relative to what we've been saying over and over.
Yeah.
And I would venture to say, forget your troubles and dance.
You see the same thing.
Fool, but they hungry.
Caller.
A hungry man is an angry man.
So which one are you now? Tell me.
I am not hungry, but I'm angry. And I would not forget my troubles and dance. I used to do that. But this song is so apt in the context and it's so relative to what we see happening in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
A lot of St. Lucians have conditioned their mind that, look here, forget my troubles and let's dance. And that means, and the government of the day, which is the SLP, they recognize that, they pray on that.
Yeah.
And so every weekend is a fit. Jazz, carnival, Journée Creole, emancipation, and that is what's happening in St. Lucia. But you can dance, you know. I'm all in for dancing. I love dancing. But at the end of the day, after you dance, you have to get back to reality. And the realities of the situation in St. Lucia is such that we have a messed up country. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
Julian Alfred, our track star, is putting us on the map every single time she goes on that. She's that track. She's putting St. Lucia on the map.
That is so true.
And I want to applaud her and I want to wish her a happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
Our track queen, Julian Alfred. This young lady is putting St. Lucia on the map. Like the last caller said before, there are a lot of people that did not even know about St. Lucia, and now they know. So yes, that's the positive. But then the negative outweighs or outshadows the positive. Because with all Julian Alfred's achievements, when we get back to earth, back to reality on ground in St. Lucia,
Mm-hmm.
it's a different reality.
Yeah.
When you tell me St. Lucia's now we may have to pay more for water and they're not even getting water in their pipe, that puzzles me. And I keep saying this, Angie, and to your listeners, how it is in here for crying out sake that in the United States of America, in Canada, in the UK, those metropolitan countries have no river, they have no ravine, they have no waterfall. And every single day you open your pipe, your tap, you get a reliable supply of water. There's not one day there's a shortage of water. Why is that so? And in a country like St. Lucia, with all those ravines and waterfalls and water catchments, Wasco is a no-show. Why is that so, Angie?
I like the way you put it. Wasco is a no show.
Wasco is a no-show. Why? It bugs my it. I it I don't know. It I cannot
It has
connect
you
the dots. Why?
confounded, kerfuffled, and quite confused, doesn't it, caller?
I think it's even beyond that because I cannot understand a country 238 square miles with a population of 180,000 people, and we cannot get a reliable supply of water. Now, the caller said something, and I heard people saying that. Oh, St. Lucia produced Derek Walcott and Sir Arthur Lewis and Julian Alfred. I beg to disagree. I'll tell you why I say that. Had Julian Alfred, Derek Walcott, and Sir Arthur Lewis did not leave St. Lucia, I am not too sure they would have achieved anything.
Wow.
Check the history.
Yeah.
Derek Walcott spent most of his life in Trinidad and Tobago. That's where he developed his craft in poetry and stuff like that. Sir Arthur Lewis spent most of his life outside of St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Julian Alfred,
Working
thank
working
God,
as far as the Congo. Do you know, caller, and people may not know this, that Sir Arthur Lewis was working in Africa developing his developing these nations economically,
yeah,
and
he was a main advisor to those
yeah,
countries.
to
He
one of the
was like an
richest
economic
countries.
guru.
Right, and then he came home.
So had Sir Arthur Lewis, Derek Walcott, even Julian Alfred of recent
Yeah.
stuck in St. Lucia, chances are their dreams would have been dead. Because you know
Yeah.
how many young, talented people we have with potential, with ability, and because they don't get that opportunity to go out, their talents are dead. The talent dies. I
Yeah.
know a lot of young people with potential, whether it's in the creatives or in sports, because of the fact that they cannot get an opportunity to go out there and develop their talent, it dies. And so I want to disagree with the caller that we did not produce Derek Walcott, we did not produce Sir Arthur Lewis, and certainly we did not produce Julian Alfred.
Well, I think the
Had Julian
Labour,
Alfred
I
not gotten that
think,
scholarship in
I think
Jamaica,
the
he could have
Labour
been a career, could have been
Party,
dead.
I think the Labour Party will disagree with you immensely. Because I even heard the Labour Party claiming um, Darren Sammy.
Again, asinine statement to make. Those talented individuals, they worked hard, they put in the hard work. No party, whether Labour, St. Lucia Labour Party, or whether the United Workers' Party, can claim any achievement by those individuals. We are proud to say that the St. Lucians, they're nationals, they are patriots, they are ambassadors, and they're representing us well. But we cannot say they are product of any political party. That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. But what do you expect from a St. Lucia Labour Party? Everything that is good, they claiming. Everything that's bad, they're claiming. So you tell them the current situation is bad, not me. The Prime Minister will tell you, not me. I ain't sending criminals to kill people. You
Yeah.
tell them that there's no water, you're not getting pipe-on water, which as a citizen, you have a right to get a reliable supply of potable water. You know what the Prime Minister will tell you? Not me is what. You tell the Prime Minister, look here. that people are complaining that when they go to the hospitals, they can't get medication, they can't get bed, they even have an infestation of bed bugs at the hospital. You know, the Prime Minister will tell you, not me, huh? Check the hospital workers. Never takes responsibility. And the
For
latest
anything.
one is the transportation sector. Remember I told you yesterday his stage is how would they call what's the term you used yesterday to me?
He's setting
The
the stage.
excuse. He's setting the stage for an excuse. So now he knows that the plans for the transportation sector, the minibus sector, and it's not looking good based on the CDB recommendations. A lot of minibus drivers sadly may be on the breadline. So he's already setting a set stage for his famous excuse that he will say, you know, it's not me, it's the technocrats that give me the advice, and I'm following through. That is your prime minister we have, Angie. And so, all this, what is happening in the country, unemployment, I'm not seeing any serious move by this government to create anything new or innovative. Tourism is looking bleak. The numbers says it all. The numbers, the arrivals, the
Yeah.
tourist arrivals says it all. That it's looking bleak and it's not looking good for Saint Lucia. And if tourism is shaky, which is our pillar of our economy, and
Yeah.
it's shaky, we can't forget our troubles and dance. A hungry man is an angry man, like the legend Bob Marley said in a song. And so I started my little karaoke to bring that to connect the dots and to say to Saint Lucia, we cannot forget our troubles and dance. I am not saying you cannot have a good time,
Mm-hmm.
but if all the good time you can have after the good time, because there's a saying that goes like this:
Mm-hmm. After joy
um,
comes sorrow.
after joy must come sorrow. Every good thing must come to an end.
Hmm.
And so, with all the dancing you'll dance and all the fete and all the alcohol you may drink, I don't drink alcohol, but for those who do partake in alcohol drinking, you can drink your alcohol, but drink it responsibly. After that, now you have to face the realities of the country, and the realities of the country is not looking good. So, Saint Lucia, you can dance, but you can't forget your troubles. Have a blessed day, Angie.
You too, caller. You too. Guys, the caller said, all good things must come to an end. Is that why they keep electing the Labour Party? Because they're not a good thing and they're not coming to an end? Food for thought. Let's go back to the Facebook platform. Somebody's saying here, caller St. Lucia Pui Party only put words together so they could look good. However, they are only skillful in adding taxes and debt. And when they have to explain their own policy, they will say that they are working on a framework. this person this person has their number. Somebody says, good for them, Angie, as they still vote for them. Beatties. Another person says, Sufra is dead, not even water we have. Somebody says, caller, I am listening to you carefully. You are so right with all what you say. Somebody's asking me, what's about your case with Mr. Hilaire, Angie? I keep telling people, don't ask me that question. This is a source of frustration in my life. But it is still ongoing, and we await a... Ask me next week, guys. Ask me next week. Somebody is saying here, caller of the day. Another says, I could listen to this caller the whole afternoon. Somebody is saying the reason the ministers continue to say the last administration, because from 2021 to 2026, they are still sleeping and dreaming, so they need to wake up and stop dreaming. And this is why our country, instead of moving forward, it went backwards. You could swear we are in 1970. Bed bugs, snakes, and no medication. Somebody says, caller, you must call again. And they're referring to our first caller. I like listening to you. Somebody says, Angie, who is responsible for paying the technocrats? Isn't it the taxpayers? Yeah. Yes, it is. So why would PJP say bold-facedly in his weekly press briefing that he doesn't take rational advice from these people unless it's not political or it benefits his party? Is that man for real? Sometimes I wonder, does this man really think before he speaks? I guess his advisors are not bothered because they only concern about their monthly salaries and the other perks that go with it. Sometimes I read these posts and I want to disagree, but in the interest of accountability and fairness and truth, I just have to feel very hurt inside. Somebody says, is that crappy? If that crappy VAT-free day was a good thing, why did they not do it again, knowing their habits of showing off and bragging? Because they didn't get the desired result. Somebody says, SLP needs to stop threatening and paying people to be silent when they talk about the issues affecting them in this country. Now all Labour supporters are hurt by this very government but can't be loud about it. Too much pressure burst pipe. I am afraid of civil unrest in my country. For how long will the people take it? I have to agree with you, because I've been telling people from the time from December 2nd, there is this feeling of not anticipation. It's not anticipation, because anticipation implies a good thing. There's this feeling of tension in the country, as if all people need is one spark. Somebody says, yes, Andrew, good contributor. Caller, please call again. Somebody says, Ian, you left one person out and you have to give him what he deserves. You should mention his name too, the great Rick Wayne. True. The great, the legend Rick Wayne. Somebody says, here, Angie, you asking persons to call the show. People are afraid they might lose their jazz tickets, shopping vouchers at Massey, free fete and rum parties, handouts from their pal reps. Angie, we are living in serious times. No joke, our last mantra in this country, anything for $1. Actually, I said this and I laugh because I have this nephew, guys. He just turned 12 recently. And whenever he wants to correct you, when you say something, he says this word exactly like that. Actually, so caller, actually, anything you want to do, you can get it for a cut. Now, don't ask me what the cut is. You can get it for a cut. Guys, I want you to understand, and I want us to normalize this. Speak up. Speak out. This is our country. St. Lucia does not belong to the members of parliament, to the cabinet ministers, to the members of the Senate. It belongs to every single person of St. Lucian birth and heritage. Now I say in birth and heritage because I am excluding the CIP St. Lucians. They are not St. Lucians. They are, I don't know what to call them. They are CIP citizens. I don't consider them St. Lucians. I don't think they should be allowed to vote. I don't think they should be allowed to have any privileges in this country. I think these individuals they just have the passport, and that is even too much. I'm not a racist, I'm not biased, I'm not anything. I just feel very insulted that I had to be born for my passport and these people could just buy it. Okay? Call me backwards if you want, but I am a St. Lucian by birth, and knowing that there are CIP citizens that actually got passports free and clear when I had to wait months. I had to wait months to get a passport. And you all would recall that people had to take lines and wait for months while CIP passports were given a priority. That irks me. I am a citizen. I was born here. My parents were born here. My grandparents were born here. dating all the way back to slavery. And these individuals who just come and they push their hand in their pocket and they pay some money to some corrupt technocrat, according to the Prime Minister, they just got their passport. Just like that. Now, guys, I'm not like the other talk show hosts that I see on certain radio stations that want to incite violence and call people out and call people's names and want to investigate and make reports. That's not me. I'm not saying these CIP citizens. Now we have a call on the line. Good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Miss Angie, and everyone listening.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. Yes, so how many runs do we have so far?
Boy, let me tell you, it's hot. It's hot. The opening batsman and the middle order batsman, they've been good. So let's see what you have.
These guys, they're not out. They're not out. They just retire.
They retire because they're tired. I don't think you can. I don't know if you can do that in cricket. I've scored so many runs. I'm tired. I need a break. I don't know. They took vacation. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But apparently, that's what's going on because honestly, the other team has so many hits to take there. I don't think we could give them all in one day.
My goodness.
No, and if I could, I know that we don't have much time, so I'll try to be as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I want to shed some light on the fact of Mr. Slack left us last week, Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
It took 8 days for the Prime Minister to come and say you're gonna throw the flags half-mast. Isn't that insulting? When he finished, he wants to go on spin and googly or whatever it is because the leader of the opposition had no choice but to walk up on him. You know, I think it's really insulting. And as it's been said, they've never forgiven the man for not staying in the pool long.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his death, you know. And he's talking about what did he say in that press briefing again? To bring people together or whatever it was. From day one, this guy has been spreading discord and he's turning around and saying that people have to come together. Like, how can it happen? Your member actually went in a church to fight.
Yes.
And you say you're standing with the guy.
Yep.
Even Monday he mentioned going to church. In that same church, I understood the priest asked him to forgive thy neighbor. Shake hands. He refused to do it. And you telling me you are the leader and you want to bring people together. You know? Another thing, Angie, that came to me. Remember how you were up in arms, almost ready for your pitchfork, when he wanted to appoint the deputy commissioner of police, right?
No.
As commissioner.
Well, yes, he wanted, yeah.
Look at this guy's record. Look at his position. Don't you realize that the security system of our country is structured just like the political of the government, pretty much?
Pretty much. Sometimes you guys call and you make certain points, and I want to refute you all, but I have to admit the truth. It's just not good.
Honestly, Angie, go ahead.
No, I'm saying what's going on in this country is just not good. I cannot even defend my country. That's sad.
I tell you. Yeah, because then we have Commissioner of Police. By all counts, I see he's a puppet on the show. I don't even know the last time I heard something coming out of him as a result.
Well, he actually holds press conferences, I think, once a month to tell people what's going on. There was one quite recently. I'm not sure what happened, but there was one.
So, one thing on that, can I ask you something just to clarify something? Is it that the Assistant Commissioner of Police, the one who's supposed to report to the nation?
The Assistant Commissioner of Police is the gentleman in charge of the Major Crimes Unit. So I think when he speaks on those crimes, it is in that capacity. Because Major Crimes Unit is the one who deals with murders, they deal with rapes, all of these things. They are the ones that deal with that. So I think when he addresses the nation, he is speaking in his capacity as the head of the Major Crimes Unit, and I kind of like him. He's fast becoming one of my favorite policemen because he does not put water in his mouth to say what he has to say, and when he speaks to those criminals, he speaks to them with authority. I like that about him. I think it's time we needed somebody like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I give him some credit.
Yeah.
But I still wonder, is it that he's still limited in his own capacity because he's still underneath the Commissioner of Police, plus there's a deputy.
Well, yeah.
So I cannot help but wonder. No, but as I was saying, that the Commissioner of Police is to the likes of the Prime Minister. They have the deputy, who is like the Deputy Prime Minister. So what's going to come next? Who's going to be the second? What's the second deputy going to be like?
I don't know.
So apparently, the person in the seat of the Prime Minister wanted to have his police just like structured, just like pretty much his cabinet.
Wait, you're saying I'm confused a little bit. Repeat what you just said. I don't think I understood that.
I said the person in the seat of the Prime Minister, apparently he wanted to structure the police force just like his own cabinet or his own government, or in other words. Because you have people with questionable characters at really high or yielding, as you call it, the big stick. And apparently there is already, as we know, they do not want to answer questions. He himself doesn't want to answer the pertinent questions. So, as this is South Africa, this is how you. So there you go.
I can't even say anything. I can't say. I cannot defend. I cannot defend the Prime Minister. I can't defend because when you look at these people's their whole demeanor, the way they do things, the way they behave, you cannot give them the benefit of the doubt. You cannot defend them in any way.
Exactly.
Because
but actually they don't give us anything to go to have reason to believe, to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Not even scraps we have to put in their favor.
Yeah.
And I hope you shed light on it already, but I hope the masses will start to take note, especially given what he said this week. If he knows we need water, but if he does that, he might lose votes.
Well, actually, he was talking about transportation. He was talking about transportation.
I said water, meaning pertinent things that we need. We've been deprived of it because they want to stay in power. I mean, the basket there is, it's like a whole basket. We could choose any item out of it, and we could still make the same have the same conclusion. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Prior to that, he said we cannot spend. Pretty much, he doesn't trust us with our own money.
Yeah, that's what he said.
His fiscal plan for the year is taxes. Now transportation is in the next year's budget. As you brought it up. So, either ways you look at it, and you took we screwed anyhow.
Well, caller, that's what the people wanted. That's what the people wanted, caller. That is who the people wanted, and as it hurts saying that, but I have no choice but to say it because the truth is the truth. Doesn't matter how they got into office, they did it. And they did it because we the people allowed it to happen.
They did it, and as you said, they did it, and they did it big.
Bigly.
Also,
he said he won bigly.
And even big, yeah.
Yeah.
And even the last time I called, I tried to give, I was honest when I said, convinced that this guy didn't win. This Festus with the statement saying, calling me a dolt, or suggesting that I sound like a dolt. Like, Cody Spiders on G. What the Sympathy radio, national radio, what the I mean, you're going to defend somebody. What are you going to defend them on?
You cannot
because somebody's speaking.
You have to understand, caller. You can't say these things on Fire FM. You have to keep it. You have to keep it right. But listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, sometimes when you hear people defending for defending's sake, attacking for attacking's sake, you simply have to remind yourself, before you get into a useless argument with these individuals, that a bee does not waste time explaining to a fly why honey is better.
Honey is better than
you know the rest. You know the rest.
Yeah.
You know
you're right on that.
So sometimes you just allow these individuals to have their say, because a lot of these people are singing for their supper.
Yep. And
you know how the Prime Minister has said his economic policy is taxation. These people's economic policy is not a job. It's a handout. So what do you expect? The first caller made a statement, and it was very telling. She said that this talk show host guy, what's his name? Shelton Daniel. Yeah, I guess she was listening to his show and heard him say that it doesn't matter what the government did. It doesn't matter what they do. He supports. And if they are a disease, I think she said that he is the disease or something like that. That just goes to show you the mindset of these individuals you are dealing with. That is their that is their philosophical position, caller. That is their
position.
That is their modus operandi. The Prime Minister's economic policy, taxation. These people, economic policy, handout. You expect the people to jeopardize their bread for you? No, they're watching the bread. They're watching the bread.
If you even to compound what you just said, one even went as far as saying after the Messiah is Philip J.
Remember, Gaila?
You know, it's like only I think it was just today. Like these guys didn't know how to get to these people. You know, and they know what the people feed off of. They themselves feed off what they're doing because they know they could get away with it. You know, but the good thing about having all these Festus people come and listen is that eventually there's a possibility that they will get the point eventually.
They'll learn something.
Yeah. Hopefully they will learn. We'll be able to, what does it say? Now we could rearrange the ignorance. That's to say.
That's a
or
heavy,
and improve the intelligence.
That's a heavy workload you're giving me there, caller. I thank you for your faith in my abilities, but I don't think I can.
Before I forget, I must commend you, Angie. You've been doing a really good job.
Thank you.
You try to make sure you present yourself in a clear and understanding manner, and you've been diligent in doing it. So I praise you for that.
Thank you so much.
You do not. You're welcome. But I am not grown like you, so every once in a while I'll try to put a little 2 cents or a little. Try to see if I could make a dent in the bucket, but nonetheless, you're doing a good job, and you have been able to keep a good program so far.
Thank you so
And
much for that.
for one, I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You
Have a
know,
good day, guys. I'm going to wrap up
but
because our
anyway,
time is
the
up.
time is on us. So,
Yeah.
but thanks for having me, though.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Today's been a great day
Right.
for callers. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful
You're welcome.
afternoon. Yes.
Bye bye.
Guys,
Thanks. You too.
we
Bye
yeah.
bye.
Guys, we need to wrap up the show because these callers they so good. They stealing my thunder, you know. Let's go up to the Facebook platform. Let's see what's cooking over there. Somebody is saying, Angie, with all of these passports being sold, how many of these individuals live or even hold on? How many of these individuals live or even invest anything in St. Lucia? Are these individuals eligible in voting in our general elections, and will this be legitimate? Caller, I want to know the answer to that question more than you. Another one says, I don't know what kind of luck Pip gave Lucians to rub and they drink it for them to call Pip the Messiah. I think I better stop. I better quit while I'm ahead. Because, guys, let me tell you, don't play with the people on Hard Talk. The Hard Talk is not just a heading. These people are they talk a good game and they don't play. It is 4:45 p.m. Oh my goodness. Once again, you guys have me here. Overtime. Still waiting on that check. You know who you are. But thank you for understanding the assignment, St. Lucia. Thank you for seeing past the veil that they're trying to put over our eyes. They're trying to pull the wool over our eyes. I've never heard the deputy prime minister or the prime minister come and tell us this is not going well. They tell you everything is fine, everything is great, everything is perfect, everything could not be better. But when you look, you realize, wait a minute. The math's not maths in. And they expect you to believe it. They expect you to drink it. They expect you to take it. And it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But I am grateful that I'm not the only critical thinker in this country, this land that I love so much. And I am grateful and I'm comforted by the fact that there are other St. Lucians who have the ability to think critically, to open their eyes, to assess a situation, and to realize when the wool is being pulled over our eyes. So, guys, thank you so much for that. Thank you for continuing to support the program. Those of you who are always here, always listening, always on, always calling, always sharing the lives, thank you so much. You guys make doing this worthwhile. I gotta go. It's my time. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, St. Lucia. I am going to ensure that the issue with the link and with the other mediums are sorted out as soon as possible because I don't want my people to miss out. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye bye. Stay safe.